Okay, so this video is on subtracting polynomials. Um, let's see, actually, what section is this in? This is on subtracting rational expressions. That's it. Uh, Adding and subtracting opposite linear factors. That's what it is. Okay, so I guess what you have to realize here is that no matter what, when we're adding fractions, we find a common denominator. So let's kind of do that first and see where we get. So here's the problem. It says subtract and write the answer in those terms. That's the problem, right? Yeah. Okay. So how do we find the common denominator? Well, we need to factor each term, and then we'll see which terms are missing other terms that we need to put together. So I'll show you. So let's factor each one. That's the first thing. Factor the denominators. So we'll have 2 over, well, what does x squared minus 4 factor into? You should know from the special factorization, right? This is a special factorization. It's the multiplication of squares, so it's x plus 2, x minus 2. And if you didn't recognize that, that's something that you should practice and figure out. Please email me if you have any questions on how I did that. I'd be happy to explain that to you more. So this is what we get when we factor. And then so we have minus 3 over 2 minus x. So you can see that 2 minus x looks really similar to these. And it essentially is the same as this. What happens if you pull out a negative, right? So what if there was a negative in here? Well, you could rewrite this as negative 1 times x minus 2, right? And you can see that. Negative 1 times x, we get negative x, and negative 1 times 2, we get positive 2. So this is the same thing as negative 1 times x minus 2. Okay, so now what can we do with this negative 1? Well, you can essentially put this out in front. So this is negative 1 times this whole thing, right? That's the same. And so that becomes a plus. So now we have a plus. And we actually have the same factor here that we have on the bottom here. So to make a common denominator, we simply need to multiply this fraction by something with this term. Oops. So how do we do that? Well, we multiply by a form of 1, which is x plus 2 over x plus 2. And then we'll get a common denominator here. So that's essentially what we did. So let's combine this now. So it becomes plus 3 times x plus 2. Sorry, let me get rid of this. Okay. So this should be our new fraction with one denominator, right? We combine these fractions, so it's 2 plus 3 times x plus 2. And let's see what that equals if we can combine anything. Well, we have the same denominator. Let's try to highlight this and copy it. Okay. With the same denominator, and let's expand this. So that's 2 plus 3x plus 6. Well, we can combine the 2 and the 6, so we get that equals 3x plus 8. And then we can factor this back into what we had before. Again, if we'd like to, I'm not quite sure what they the instructions are. Write the answer in lowest terms. So maybe we'll want to factor that back. So we get x squared minus 4 and then 3x plus 8. So let's see what they show us for their answer. How do I show it? Okay, correct answer. Yeah. Oh, well, so they kept it factored. So either one of those is fine, right? We have 3x plus 8 over x squared minus 4, or 3x plus 8 over x plus 2, x minus 2. Either way, but quick recap is that we wanted to find a common denominator, so we expanded this form, and we saw that it could be, we could write it the same way if we pulled out a negative. So that's a good trick. If we pulled out a negative 1 from here and made this a plus, well, we could have x minus 2 there. And that's perfectly fine. It's just slightly rewriting it. Then the rest was just simple expanding and adding, and we get the final answer. So I hope this helped. Please email me or call me if you guys have any other questions on this.